right, I am here with Elsie Leon, and perhaps she has summed it up best. Juan Martinez for governor. That's what the sign says. What does everybody think here? Everybody agree? It seems like everybody agrees. Juan Martinez for governor. Of course, we're talking about the prosecutor who masterfully handled this case. Why have you started this movement?
I believe he's really worth it. I believe he brought it home for Arizona, for the Alexander family, for his friends, for the whole community. I think he's worthy of being governor. Why not, Juan? Why not? President. Right.
All right. Well, I want to bring in Dave Hall, a dear friend of Travis Alexander, the victim. You were there. You were in court. You were with the family of Travis Alexander. This was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking for people outside court. What was it like to be in court? Describe what the family, as you sat next to them, were going through.
The tension in there was intense. I mean, you could cut it with a knife. I know that's a bad line to use right now. But even before Jodi came in, we were handing out Kleenexes. We were taking deep breaths. We were trying to get our heart rates down. I mean, our palms were sweating. The anxiety level in there was over the top, and they instructed us over and over and over, don't make any audible sounds, no facial gestures, just listen to the verdict. But you can't control yourself after 5 years of waiting to finally have that word, guilty, ringing in your head.
And this is spontaneous. These folks are here because they have been following this case. They are interested in this case. And it seems like there's a unanimous verdict out here as well. Now, you were looking at Jodi Arias. Did you see anything? What did you see?
Jodi never turned around and faced any of us. She came straight in through the side door, went quickly, sat down, did not turn around and make eye contact with any of us. The first time I saw Jodi's face was literally on your guys' monitors after I came back here, because she did not give us the satisfaction of seeing the look on her face.
This case was so absolutely racked with emotion. I was standing right outside court. Celine Darkle-Stanian, our producer who has been here from the very beginning and has done an incredible job. We have all been working around the clock, but particularly you. What was it like inside? Talk to us about Jodi Arias and her family.
Her family, I think the thing to note is her mother, because you have to understand, we've been sitting there for 4 months and looking at her mom. She has not cried. She has not laughed. They've shown these humiliating photos of her daughter. They've shown autopsy photos. And through all of the 4 months, she has not shown one single emotion. And today, once the cameras were off and the verdict was read, she broke down. She stood up, and her mother, Jodi's grandmother, was in a wheelchair next to her. She got up, hugged her mom, Jodi's grandma, and her sister, Jodi's aunt. They were all hugging each other. And then the defense attorneys came over and they were crying. And this is the first time we've seen her mom break down and start crying. And it was pretty incredible because the family was crying on one end, and then Travis Alexander's family were, in a sense, I don't want to say celebrating, but they were overjoyed with the verdict that came in. So this courtroom was definitely split, and you could feel the tension in the courtroom.
It must have been absolutely extraordinary to be in there just on an average day that I was in there, or for closings. It was just so palpable, the energy, electric. This has been such an emotional case. Check this out. All right, Beth Karras, who was in court. Beth, you were there, right? You saw it. Now, this is extraordinary, but you've seen so many trials. This is not over. The drama is actually going to crescendo further because we're going into another phase. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually, possibly 2 more phases. The next phase is 1 or 2 days. Now, it's going to start tomorrow afternoon here, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock local time. Dr. Kevin Horn is going to be on the stand for the state.
That's the medical examiner.
Yes, he's the medical examiner, and that's the only witness the state plans to call. I do not know if the defense plans to call their own medical examiner or some type of doctor. This aggravation phase is to put on evidence that The killing, the murder, now we can call it a murder, the murder of Travis Alexander was extremely cruel. Extreme cruelty is what the aggravator is. The jury has to find it was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So what will happen is tomorrow we're going to hear opening statements. Juan Martinez is going to make an opening statement, and maybe the defense will make one. And then Dr. Horn will testify. He will probably add on to what he's already said. Everything in this first part of the trial, the guilt phase, will be incorporated into this. Anything that's relevant is also to be considered. Then he will probably talk about how long it took Travis Alexander to die. What was he thinking when he stood at that sink, spitting blood, having his head and his back stabbed repeatedly, smearing blood with his hands, which were cut when he grabbed the blade. He knew he was going to die. She's stabbing him. He's not dying. He gets down the hall. He's trying to get away.